What's good, family? Shout out to my supporting general, Aaron Baker, for boosting up your man the YB's coins, no doubt. So we got some breaking news right now, super duper breaking news, regarding Dillian the Shillian Whyte and Tyson Fury. Now, unfortunately, it's not very good news. Obviously, you man know, I've got sources across the globe. I've got clandestine I work closely with certain clandestine services, and this has been leaked to me from Dillian Whyte's DMs. Now, for you man who don't know, Dillian Whyte, aka Dillian the Shillian Whyte's husband, because Dillian Whyte's real name is Lamar Scott, but obviously after being married, he took Dillian's second name, hence Dillian Whyte. Got into discussions with one of my sources, and that's where this leak came from. Yeah? And again, I'm going to read out what it says, but it's kind of peak right now for everyone concerned with this fight. My source says to Dillian Whyte, "Hey man, why is Shillian so silent? He's letting his fans down. I want to back him in this fight, and I want him to beat Fury, but he's going about things so badly in the public's eye." Dillian Whyte replied, laughing faces, and said, "Why? The deal is not complete yet, so what should he be talking about?" Boom. There you go then. Dillian Whyte has leaked the fact. Well, to be fair to him, it's not his fault. Yeah, when you've got the kind of contacts I've got, it's one of them ones. Yeah, I told you before, I've told everyone's team, your team needs to tighten up. Yeah, you got too many chatty patties on your team. How do you think I get these leaks? Oops. Yeah? All these other funny style channels sit there waiting for the YB to post so they can get the news, 100%. Because what we do know is, this is the original thing. Yeah? Obviously, I'm sure Counter Cuck and all them other goofy channels, oh look, no. Yeah? You man tighten up. Because what we know is the YB is #1 news general, 100%. Anyway, back to the point of the video. This makes sense. Not that I'm saying, oh yeah, it makes sense Shillian's being emotional, yeah? Or it makes sense Shillian stays throwing his toys at the pram. But I'm saying it makes sense that, well, we had a Frank Warren interview today. Frank Warren said, or the interviewer said to Frank Warren, "Frank, why has Dillian Whyte not posted anything on social media?" Frank Warren, or Frank, have you spoke to Dillian since the winning the purse bid? Now, Frank Warren said, yeah, well, we're kind of having conversations with his legal team and whatnot, etc., etc. But he didn't say, yeah, he didn't seem super confident that Dillian's fully on board. And also, Frank Warren did imply almost that he got the feeling that Dillian may be trying to be smart about things, i.e. trying to make the show less successful and not promote it. Because I'm sorry, people, I mean, Dillian Whyte said here that, oh, the deal's not complete yet, so that's why he's not saying nothing. I don't know about all that. Yeah? What do you mean it's not complete yet? What do you call complete? I've got a feeling from people I've spoke to, what Dillian calls complete is him getting 50%. Do you understand? So it's one of them ones about it's not complete. How much more complete do you want it to be? Frank's won the purse bid. Your man's lost the purse bid. So what's there to be? I'm confused. What is there to be complete about? These things are as simple as you like. I guess you could argue, well, YB, maybe the date or the venue, but listen, I thought you want your big shot. But again, what else do we know about Dillian Whyte? Well, we know he has a diva mentality. He believes he's the A-star side. He believes Tyson Fury, the belt holder, he believes Tyson Fury, the undefeated belt holder, is the D side. Yeah? So, it's no surprise really when you think about it. Team Dillian Whyte is sitting there thinking they've got, oh well, the deal's not done yet because we need to agree with the date and the venue. Listen, what you need to do is accept you're a bum challenger and just take what you're given. But this shows you their attitude. They don't want to really just get in there and crack on, which isn't really a shock, is it? Because what have we been hearing this whole time? This whole time, my main beef has been, and that's what this star said to him. The star said, listen, I want to back Dillian. And no one, I'm not saying I'm the biggest Dillian fan, but months ago, there wasn't many people backing Dillian more than me. But then all this other stuff started coming along. And the fact we're still in the thick of it now, well, we knew this anyway, because the minute Well, that's not the minute. It's 4 days later now. 4 days later, and we still haven't heard a peep out of Shillian. Now you could argue, oh well, the deal's not. Oh, but the deal's not done, YB. What do you expect from him? No, not really. Because guess what? Think about it. Even if the deal isn't done, are you telling me? Well, I'm gonna expose to you, man, how we know there's something more going on here. In as much as we know Dillian trying to play funny games. Because even if the deal wasn't done, yeah, are you telling me he couldn't just put a little piece out there? Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, the deal's not done officially yet, but I know I want this fight. I know we're going to get there eventually. So why not hype this fight? And guess what? He ain't doing that. Someone who genuinely wanted to fight. Think about people. I've always said this. The only reason a fight don't happen is because one or two of two people don't want to fight. When two people want to fight, it happens. It's as simple as that. Now, the fact that Fury's been chasing Dillian around and turning down the Usyk fight shows me that Fury wants Dillian bad. He'd rock off for Dillian. He can't wait to stick his wick in. 100%. He's sharpening that wick off. Yeah? Told you before, Tyson Fury mixing up that baby batter ready for your man Shillian. Going straight into him, putting all that lovely Fury baby batter straight into him. 100% confirmed. That's what Fury doing. What's Shillian doing? Oh man, I'm from Brixton, and the deal's not done yet, so we're gonna keep playing. What's wrong with you? You should be saying, listen, whether the deal is done yet or not yet is irrelevant to me. I want you bad, and I know, people know you. And that's the thing. Look at Team Fury. Look at their actions. Did you hear Tyson Fury say? And that's the thing. To be fair to this whole situation, yeah. If you actually look, Tyson Fury is actually a great example of, or a great case study of how attitudes change when people want fights. What do we know? Well, look at the AJ and Fury saga last year. Last year, at the start of 2021, when Team AJ was sending offers, what was Tyson Fury saying? Oh, well, C19... yeah, you understand? And I remember doing videos critiquing Fury, saying, Fury, why are you moaning about, there can't be no fans, and we can't get it done, and C19, and he was making it, just talking about extra stuff. Doing what Dillian's doing now. In contrast, back then, AJ was the one saying, listen, I don't care about all that, let's get it done. Yeah? Now fast forward a year, what do we know? Well, Tyson Fury, he ain't talking no contract crap no more. Why? Because that's what people do when they want to fight. Because if you really genuinely want to fight and you want it ASAP, it just gets done. Yeah? The details are here nor there. Yep, crack on. Obviously, you're not going to sign nothing that's stupid, but Frank Warren and Team Fury in this occasion have been pretty fair up, in my opinion. As fair as it's going to get for rival promotions. So on that basis, Dillian really ain't got a leg to stand on talking about, there ain't no, it's not been signed yet. What do you mean it ain't been signed yet? Yeah? Because like I was saying, back last year, when Fury and AJ saga was going on, Fury was putting out bum excuses about C19, and for whatever reason, he didn't really want to fight at that particular point in time. And I've talked on that at length. Now fast forward to this year, the whole thing's flipped around. Fury desperate to get in Dillian Whyte's knickers. That's the facts, people. Desperate to get there. And that's why all you've heard from Team Fury is you haven't heard nothing about money. In fact, they've actually tried to give Dillian more. They tried to pay him 25-30% a month ago, begging him, please Dillian, come sit down so we can get please Dillian, sit down so we can organise how we're going to get in them knickers for you. Yeah? Fury, trust me, Fury chewing on them knickers. Can't wait to take them off. Yeah, 100%. That's what they've been doing. That's how you know intent. And even since then, or even since this fight's been officially signed, even before the fight actually got bought by Frank Warren, guess what? What was Fury saying? Was Fury saying, well, we haven't signed nothing yet, so I don't want to comment on the White fight, but no, he wasn't saying that. What Fury was saying, listen, Dillian, I want you bad. You're mine, you're getting it. He weren't talking no contract crap. And that's the thing about me, I'm always consistent. The minute I hear people talk, the minute I hear a fighter talking about contracts. It's like last year. Again, I critique Fury and Wilder. When AJ was trying to fight Wilder and Fury, yeah, people were saying things like, or Team Fury and Team Wilder were saying things like, oh, I'm never going to fight AJ because Eddie Hearn's so disrespectful. Eddie Hearn's rude and whatnot. And I said, well, wait a minute, it's the fight game. You should be saying, listen, I'm gonna fill your man in even more because your promoter's too leery. I'm gonna get him to wind his neck right in for him. There's an example of people doing it. It's weird. For the fight game, there should be nothing. Things should only turn you on. If he's got a goofy promoter, you should want to fill him in even more on that basis. So again, this is the fight game, and it's not a fight game where you're down bad and not getting paid. You're getting paid handsomely. The record payday Shillian's being paid here. So he's confronted with a record payday with a so-called easy fight he's supposed to be able to win. He's supposed to have knocked Fury out 10 times already in sparring. And all of a sudden, meanwhile, all we've heard from Tyson Fury for the last month has been, Dillian, I want you. We haven't heard none of the other crap, which would make me skeptical of Fury really wanting this fight. We haven't heard none of the, well, there's this, there's that. And it's not rocket science. When people start bringing in problems that aren't really there, that means there's something else, there's another agenda going on here. So, Frank Warren's won the purse bid. You're getting paid record money. You're in a massive fight, biggest fight in Britain probably ever. And you're sitting there trying to play, well, the reason he's being a Debbie Downer is because it's not really signed yet. What's there to talk about? Well, what was there to talk about for the last week? Or for the last month when Fury's been begging to get hold of you? That's what you do when you want someone. You should be saying, listen, I've left the business to the businessmen. I've told my business team, get it done. And that's what in fact, a great example. What do we know? Look at 2020. Yeah, look at 2020. After AJ beat Pulev, he said, Eddie Hearn, I want this done by the end of the month. That's the orders AJ gave to Eddie Hearn to get the Fury fight. Yeah? Now, me and AJ ain't on the right terms at the moment, but I'm not going to change the facts. That's the facts. The facts are, AJ said, I want this fight locked in. Now, obviously, we know he would have got filled in by Fury, but either way, it doesn't change how it played out. And that's what people are supposed to do. And look at Fury now. Fury himself has assimilated the same as what AJ did back in 2020. For this period. Because for the last month, in fact, we heard Fury, after the Wilder fight, Fury told his team, listen, I must fight by February or you're all getting sacked. That's that same old AJ kind of thing. He won it bad. And that's all we've heard since. It's Fury desperate to get a piece of Dillian. Wants him badly. Meanwhile, Dillian all of a sudden, I'm not gonna, we can't talk about it because it's not done yet. So what does that, in fact, let's dig a little deep here. What does that really mean then? Because I've just explained to you how it could go if someone's rock hard for a fight. So really, what is he saying here? Oh, well, the fight isn't signed. So are you saying there's a high chance? Because the only way that would make sense, we're not talking about this because the fight's not signed. Think about it. If you were certain this fight's going to happen because you know you really want it, it'd be irrelevant whether it's signed exactly now or whether it's done in 3 days, wouldn't it? You'd know, or you'd say something like, listen, well, the bottom line is, yeah, if you had full intention, or really, if you had any intention, if you had any fair and if you had any fair intention of this fight happening, you'd be saying, wouldn't you? If Dillian Whyte was serious about actually attending this fight, he'd be hyping it now. He'd be on it. The fact he's not actually, when actually take a step back and think about it, I think this says even more than it at first glance. I think this shows this ain't going to happen for some reason. That's what I think it shows. I think Dillian knows, wait a minute, I better not promote this fight because I know I've got certain reasons that I ain't going to do it. So I don't want to really become an idiot. So it's making sense why this political thing's been put out there now. Oh, well, it hasn't been signed yet. What does Dillian... Or the bottom line is, in my mind, Dillian must know something that we don't. He must know it ain't going to happen. Because if he had any intention, if he had any fair intention of this fight happening, he'd be bang on it. So the fact he isn't, and the fact that they're wheeling out this political response, oh well, it's not been officially signed, it's not done yet, tells me that they know something. That AKA, they know it's not going to get signed. Because think about it, let's assume for a second, yeah, Dillian knows this fight isn't going to get signed for some particular reason. What would you be doing now? Well, you wouldn't want to be catfishing the public, would you? Gassing it up. I mean, look at Fury. That was actually a key thing last year. Fury gassed the public up about AJ fight. That did turn quite a few fans actually against Fury at the time. Fury gassed the AJ. Fury gassed it for 4 months. Yeah. Team AJ were chasing Fury down. Fury and his whole team were talking about, it's C19 and there's no fans and we can't do this, we can't do that. 2-2s. Fury says the fight's done, and then a few days later, it gets cancelled again. Quite a few fans were sick of Fury at that point in time, myself included. So Dillian knows the playbook. It's not rocket science either. If you know a fight ain't going to happen, don't be coming out here wheeling yourself out, gassing the place up. So on that basis, when I've actually broken it down, I think this is more worrying than just him being quiet. Initially, for the last few days, I've been slagging him off, saying I think he's a bit of a killjoy. But saying that, assuming, the fight will happen, but Dillian Whyte's just trying to kill the promotion so he can hurt Frank's pockets. That's what my assumption was. Now, though, having heard his team say, oh, well, it's not done yet, think about it. Why would you, of all the things you could say, why would you focus on the fact it's not done yet? Unless that's, you know what I'm saying? Unless that implies to me that, or that brings into question whether it ever will be done. Because that shouldn't be on your mind right now. Of all the things to be on your mind, the last thing should be the fight not getting done. Because in everyone else's, in the fans' mind, in Fury's mind, everyone else, this fight is A-okay to happen. The only person who's worrying about it getting done is you. And I ask, why is that? Well, there's a whole bunch of reasons why it possibly could be, as we know. He may not want to be, and I did say this, my base case before this happened was that Dillian Whyte will not push forward until March. Why? Because then he'll know how much he's getting, for sure. So I'm not really shocked to hear this. And to be honest, the only thing that changed in the last month was the fact that the WBC pushed forward with the purse bid. This wasn't, and I actually assumed that, the reason WBC's pushed forward a purse bid is because Dillian Whyte signed off on it. If you think about about a week ago, I put a video out saying, fair play to Dillian, he's finally seen the light, and he's obviously must have agreed to doing the 20%. That was the assumption. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe WBC just pushed ahead with the purse bid anyway. It's now happened. Because really, what have we over the last week here? What have we actually seen, or over the last few weeks? What have we actually seen from Dillian, which tells us he's prepared to fight for 20%? We've heard Eddie Hearn say it, but Eddie Hearn allegedly ain't even in the loop anymore. Oops. Yeah. So how much does he even know? And we know Eddie Hearn full of woof anyway regarding the situation. He hasn't got a clue. He hasn't got a clue what the temperature is. That's the bottom line. So scrap Eddie Hearn saying Dillian will do it for 20. And besides, like I said, from Dillian himself, what have we actually seen over the last few weeks that tells us he wants to get this fight done? We heard him say, I'm sick of the talk, I just want war. But he's never actually addressed his Fury fight, apart from to demand 50%. That's it. And we know he hasn't got the 50%. So it's not really shocking to think, wait a minute, he hasn't, it's not like we can say, well, YB, he did say he's going to just crack on and get stuck in at 20%. He hasn't said that. And I was happy just to forget about that if he was just cracking on. I mean, I'm not expecting him to come out and say, well, I understand the optics of it. He doesn't want to necessarily come across publicly like he's took a massive L and he's had to suck it up and accept 20%. So I'm happy for him just to move, to carry on. Don't need a big song and dance and a public statement saying, I've Team Fury and WBC had made me grab my ankles, and you know what I'm saying? Team Fury and WBC had made me grab my ankles for 20%. I wouldn't I mean, even though he in a relationship with his husband, I still wouldn't expect him to make them kind of statements. But some sort of passive agreement would be Dillian Whyte, over the last few days, promoting the fight. That in itself, innit? If Dillian Whyte had starts promoting the fight, that shows he is on board. But like I said, we haven't seen nothing actually that tells us he's on board with this fight. All we know is he was moaning about the split, he was wanting to go to court, and then all of a sudden the WBC started with a purse bid. I thought that was meaning that, maybe some behind closed doors has happened and Dillian's accepted. Well, unfortunately, that's looking not to be the case right now. Because Team Dillian Whyte could have easily said, yep, he's not commenting because of some other reason. Yeah, he's not commenting because we want to F the promotion up. That would be good news, relatively speaking. Because that would say, well, yeah, we're going to do the fight, but we're just going to mess up the promotion as much as possible. Team Dillian Whyte didn't say that. They said they brought into question the actual fight happening at all. Dillian, why are you being quiet for? You're killing the vibe for the public. Team Dillian Whyte reply, well, the fight's not done yet. Oops. So all this hype about it being done, and I'm the one who said this from the jump. I said, even though Eddie Hearn, who's not in the loop, told us that, oh, don't worry, Dillian will fight anyway, even if it's for 20%. I've got a feeling Dillian may throw his toys out the pram because he's spoilt and refuse to fight full stop and kind of take his ball home. Okay, well, if I don't get in my way, in my mind, he's made such a stand for this thing. I think, especially these boxers, yeah, they're full of ego, especially publicly. And me personally, if I'm wrong, I'll put my hands in the air. I just can't see Dillian losing this 20% thing after going to court, after doing all this campaigning. I just can't see him sucking it up, especially against Fury as well. Of all the people, especially Fury, I can't see him sucking it up and then just moving on and fighting. And unfortunately, what the actual evidence implies is exactly what I'm saying. I can't see him doing it. And that's what his team's basically saying here. The fight's not signed. That's why Dillian ain't on board. Why would Dillian not have signed? Why isn't the... You know what I'm saying? I just don't get that. Even if the negotiations aren't 100% locked in, why can't you... If you know you're fully on board... Because the thing is with these contracts, yeah, 99% of the stuff is just waffle between lawyers. And normally, long before a fight's actually fully signed, you'll see both fighters who are principally bound, yeah? Because you can agree to something in principle, yeah? Are you on board? Yeah. Are you on board? Yeah. And that's how it normally goes. Two fighters, long before the fight's actually officially locked in and signed, long before all the details are sorted out, like the date, the venue, and whose parents are getting tickets, and where's your mum gonna sit, and where's your wife gonna sit. Long before all that's all mashed out, you'll see promotion of the fight. You'll see both fighters going back and forth on board. Now though, Dillian refusing. And in fact, look at what Fury's doing. Like I said earlier, the way Fury's conducted himself shows how things normally go. That's how it normally goes. 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, it wasn't even a bit close. The purse bid hadn't even happened, and Fury was bang on to Dillian Whyte, saying he wanted him. So I'm sorry, people. Please forgive me if I'm not feeling this whole Dillian Whyte thing, especially when he's been known himself to be a big talker. Why is the big mouth all of a sudden gone missing? And the only question that begs is that that in itself brings in this whole Fury versus Whyte into question. I don't think Whyte wants to do it. I think it comes down to ultimately money. I think he's just greedy. I think he wants 40%. He wants 50%. That's what he wants. That's what he believes he deserves. And if he can't get that, I think he plans on throwing his toys out the pram. But he knows, well, I can't cuck the public. If I gas the public up about this fight and then pull out because I want to get paid more, that'll be 10 out of 10 bad. So rather than do that, I'm going to not agree to terms and then say, well, see, that's why I didn't want to promote the fight. And he'll probably spin it. Well, see, I told you. Yeah, that's why I was quiet, because I knew the fight wouldn't get done. And there'll be some bullshit like that. That's what's coming next, I believe, from Team Shillian. Because not one point have I felt any real backing from Shillian of you. Let's be real now. What information are you looking at that tells you Dillian really want this fight? I've never heard the man so quiet in his life, and this is supposed to be the fight he's supposed to want so bad. And all of a sudden, Dillian Whyte is turned into Mr. Lawyer. Well, I'm not sure it's going to get done, and the fight's not done yet. And so wait a minute, why is Team Fury and Tyson Fury himself so confident about this fight happening, but you're not? That don't make no sense to me. And everyone else is on board and everyone else is confident it can get done, but you're the only one that isn't. That shows you there's something else going on. Bottom line. And I really would respect Shillian a lot more if he just came out. Well, the thing is, to be fair, whether he comes out or not, I'm going to tell you what he's thinking anyway, because he's too high IQ. I can just see what you're thinking. Oops. Yeah? So you may as well come out and tell everyone, listen, you don't want to get your head punched in for 20%. That's what you need to do, Shillian. Yeah? You don't want to get your head punched in for 20%. That's the bottom line. That's what's going through your head right now. I think the problem with Dillian is he's done all that talking for all them years about sparring and whatnot, and now the penny's finally dropped. Oops. Do I really want my Barnet pushed right in for me? Yeah? Do I really want Tyson Fury's wick hanging at the back of me? Yeah? For 20%. No, I don't. Let me go and see if I can team back up with Sky pay-per-view and fight some more bums. And don't forget, people, I've got another video coming soon. I've got some leaked information. Dillian Whyte has teamed up with Sky's boxer. Now, why is that relevant? Well, that shows you that Dillian loves what? I've exposed it. Dillian loves to fight bums on Sky pay-per-view. Oops. So it all fits in perfectly, yeah? Dillian knocks off the Fury fight to go and fight some random dudes on pay-per-view. Liam Williamson or Lewis Williamson, whatever that bunch of bums. Or I'm hearing Dillian Whyte versus Dave Allen 2 on Sky pay-per-view. That's what I'm hearing is coming up next. Yeah? I might do a video on it, breaking. Dillian Whyte versus Dave Allen 2. Sky pay-per-view, $35, £35, 100%. And then Dillian will be wheeled out and saying, this is a great fight, you know, Dave Allen's got great profile and the fans need to get behind this fight because Dillian's from Brixton and he's a real fighter and you know what Dillian's like, he's a real people's person and you're goofy about people's person. What you want to do is stop trying to play all this semantics crap and get stuck in on this Fury promotion and the Fury fight in general. Because every day that goes by there's some extra goofy shit from Team Whyte. It's just not a good look the whole way through. And the fact that an insider actually contacted Team Whyte and still they're coming with this whole funny style attitude. Oh well, it's not actually done yet. What do you mean it's not actually done yet? Why is Team Fury so rock hard for you? Why is Team Fury so confident that it can get done, but you're not? That just tells us that you ain't really on it like that. You're looking for an excuse.